Well, good Taco Tuesday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business. Let's wake up the football gods here. Man, it is early. The sun is not up. It's 6:15 in the morning. I've got to hit the road to get back to the Red Brick House. Let me say thank you, everybody who's been following along with the Red Brick House. Another pivotal week. Got to get a reinspection on the plumbing and the framing work. So hopefully we can start hanging drywall as we keep pushing this mother humper down the road. It is, and it's a pleasure. So definitely appreciate everybody checking out the other channel, Joe Boo's Day Job. Man, my voice, I literally still sound like I've smoked 20 packs of cigarettes. I'm still hoarse from the draft. And what an incredible time. The thing that's kind of cool about the Dallas Cowboys is, you know, we have the same thing every single year that we get from the NFL talking heads and the experts. Cowboys didn't do great. You know, some of the picks, you know, you're scratching your head. They should have did this. They should have done that. You know, some people have them as a C minus. Some people have them as a B when B minus is their lowest. I think that's Mel Kiper. But the thing about the Cowboys is, more than probably most teams, the Cowboys rely on home cooking. They're actually better off. Now, the second round picks, although lately they've been better, haven't been great, but like fourth round picks, first round picks, they're like butter. Finding undrafted rookie free agents, they are really, really good at getting talent. Their problem isn't been finding those guys. It's been supplementing it with others. And the Cowboys are a creature of habit. They like to get to know them. The draft picks, an interesting statistic here. Since 2004, only 4 players that they've drafted in the first round have not been to the Cowboys for the 30-player visits. They truly like to bring them in, get them away from just the combine. The combine, you know, you've got everybody, 32 teams that are looking at you and stuff. It gets to be kind of numb for the player. They get them to the star, see if their eyes are wide open, get them there for a visit for a day or two, and really get a chance to get to know that player. And that can be the difference of whether or not they like the player and they want to bring him in. The thing that's interesting is how that will point you in the right direction of where the Cowboys are going. You know, we have always been painted the picture by the media and by the Joneses themselves that they're literally fighting it out on who to take. You know, that Stephen Jones is taking the card away from Jerry, you know, for picking Johnny Manziel. But the images that we've actually seen, the videos, the hidden audios and stuff, looks to be more controlled than what you think. That there is an actual plan. You know, the Cowboys had it down to Mazi Smith and an offensive lineman. And it was Will McClay who said, look, you're going to get a bigger bang for the buck because we don't normally have defensive interior linemen rated this high. In fact, we haven't had one this high in forever. And the Cowboys, being a creature of habit, they like to get the top prospect at a position. So when they looked at Mazi Smith, who was the number 1 rated run stopper, and I believe the number 2 rated defensive interior lineman, and Will McClay says to him, hey, this guy can be a starter day 1. Offensive lineman may be depth. So they looked at it and said, top prospect, a guy who came here, who we ended up enjoying meeting him. We believe that he is the right kind of guy. and he's going to be able to be an immediate impact. And that's what you've got to get from your first-round players. You got to get an immediate impact. If you do that, you've got a better chance of that person fitting with you guys. Doesn't always work, but we'll see how it does. But something the Cowboys have been doing has definitely been working. And now the process of getting them all to the star, getting them to start meeting and working with the rest of the team and start the process of building a team. And right now, this time is so important because training camp, this is where I'm not sure if I'm going to go to training camp or not, because you really need to be at training camp for like a week because they don't practice more than 3 days in a row. They only have one practice a day. When I was there last week, the first padded practice was Monday. You know, I landed and had to drive to Oxnard. By the time I'm there, it's already past the first practice. Tuesday, second padded practice, great practice. Wednesday, walk through scrimmage. Thursday, walk through practice. Friday, they left to go have a preseason game. And so you're looking at this time and saying, I got really one good practice being there for 5 days. So you don't have a lot of time to get these guys up to speed. And understand, they just finished their college football season, and then everything was about the combine, about the Senior Bowl, about all these visits. They've already gone through a whirlwind of activity just getting to this point. Now they're coming to the organizations, and they're going to go ahead and get everything dumped on them. And this is why it's hard for a rookie to turn around and be, boom, out the box, NFL ready. And this is another one of the reasons why you'll see some rookies that'll start to wear out about mid-season and stuff, because they literally have not had a chance for their bodies to get ready for this marathon that is the NFL season of 17 games. Now, with that, you see a lot of guys who you drafted the year before that all of a sudden should come on even better, because now they've had a whole off season, you know, got a chance to go ahead and get that NFL man body built onto them, and you can see them taking a step forward. And this is where I look that we have guys that people have forgotten about, that we only scratch the surface. We have guys like Timon Clark, who we thought with the back fusion surgery that he got about this time last year wasn't going to even get anywhere close to the field, but ended up having 47 tackles last year. Actually had a really good season for a guy who had no training camp and didn't start practicing until after the season started. You look for a guy like for him to take on a bigger role and to be able to have a lot more playing time and be more impactful for the team. And then you look at a guy like, say, Sam Williams. Sam Williams, our number 2 pick last year, who out the box as a rookie, he played in 15 games, maybe 25% of the snaps. Ended up having 4 sacks last year. You look at the size and the speed that guy has, he should be actually a force this year. He should get more playing time. He's had a chance to go ahead and have an off season with the team. He's had a chance to go ahead and start getting that NFL body. And so you forget that we have these guys that only played limited time that were very, very productive that you expect to take off even further. And so you start adding some of the other talent like Stephon Gilmore. You add now a big guy to go in the middle with Hankins, who also now has an offseason with the team. Remember, we traded for him during the season. You can see this defense is going to be really, really good. And it's okay that the talking heads are sleeping on the Cowboys. I would rather them think that the Cowboys are going to be terrible or the Cowboys aren't going to be that team. I like the Eagles having all of the hype and everything else, that they're going back to the Super Bowl and this, that, and the other, best draft and everything else. That's okay. Let them have that. Let's get Total Access's thoughts on that.
But I told you we would get and the Chiefs, and this is what they did in their drafts. The Eagles started by getting a few more Georgia Bulldogs on their roster, fortifying that defensive unit in day one of the draft. As for the Chiefs, they added a little power on the edge with their final pick in round one and another offensive piece in round two. And those are just the first two rounds. As we know, they are pretty dang good at drafting and getting depth on their chance. So of these two teams, obviously, all everybody wants to do is get back to a Super Bowl. Easier said than done. Is there one team that did a little better job of making a return?
It's so hard for me because the Chiefs are my fourth favorite team. You know, like we go over this all the time.
Gosh, there's only 32 in the league.
But I know, you got to have 5 or 6 just in case, right? But this is the issue. It's not necessarily about the Chiefs. It's about the AFC conference that scares me, right? Because all these quarterbacks are in the AFC now. And they all left the NFC. So to me, I'm going to say it's the Eagles. They've gotten better, and not only have they gotten better, the NFC hasn't gotten as good, right? You lost Aaron Rodgers. You've lost some other pieces. The Chiefs lost Eric Bieniemy. So there's a lot of new going on for the Chiefs. But not, I mean, I guess the Eagles lost some some coaches, but that was really it. They replenished everything else. You saw how does Jalen Carter fall to him at 9, Bucky?
I mean, like,
how does Nolan Smith fall to him at 30, Bucky?
I don't know.
How do you get Ringo in the 3rd round, Bucky?
I don't know how that works.
I'm asking, how do all these things happen for them? How does it?
I don't know.
You're the guru. I'm sitting here trying to, because people are calling me, asking me these questions. How does it happen? I don't know. I don't know how they continue to get these players over and over and over again, and they continue. Nolan Smith, okay, like I just told you, Bryce Young ran a 10-7. He walked him down like he was standing still. That's 4.39 coming off the edge.
I mean, I feel like maybe they got territory rights on all the guys that come out of Georgia.
Right.
They just threw a fence around Athens and said all Bulldogs come up to Philadelphia.
But look at the speed. This is what they're doing is they're building from within. And when you build from within, like you talked about earlier this week, you talked about sustained success. That's what they're doing. They're creating that. And then you paid your quarterback. Everything's going right for them right now. I haven't gone back.
But see, I hear you talking about sustained success. But you know, in boxing, at the end when they give the belt and they say, and still, because the Kansas City Chiefs,
you're right.
They still the champs. They're still the champs. Like, as long as they got Pat Mahomes, they're going to go back. You got to raise the arm. You got to throw the strap up. I can't believe you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, where everyone's excited about the Eagles. They're doing great things, but we're ready to give them the trophy because the draft was great. They got a bunch of Georgia guys. The Kansas City Chiefs went to the Super Bowl with a bunch of newbies playing on defense last year, all those rookies. And so now they have an opportunity to add to that because they took a pass rusher in the 1st round, FAU, coming from K-State, who has all the athleticism that you want, non-stop motor, very relentless in what he does. And so we think about what Steve Spagnuolo is going to do with this guy, being able to hunt off the edge. You still have people in place. Last year, they took George Karlaftis. So now you got 2 newbies coming off the edge, Chris Jones in the middle. But even if they don't play great defense, Patrick Mahomes going to put a 30-burger up. I don't know what we're talking about, MJD. Like, you're my guy. You're my man, 50 grand.
The Chiefs.
But you're over here. You jumped off Chiefs Kingdom. They should let you back on.
I didn't jump
They
off.
They should not let you back on Chiefs Kingdom.
I did not jump. I did not jump
because you're scared of the rest of the AFC.
I just said that the AFC is tough. You're talking about the Jaguars. You're talking about other teams. To me, at the end of the day, you're exactly right. It's about Patrick Mahomes. But he didn't get drafted this year. The Eagles had a very good draft. They had a better draft than most.
And still.
To your point, it wasn't just a bunch of newbies, Buck. It was...
Well, I got to be honest with you, though. You know what? You got to wait and see. I remember last year they were talking about the draft. The Eagles had, the Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis. Yeah, I will say Timon Clark and Sam Williams had a better season than the 2 of them. Just well. So we'll see how that goes. As always, I'm on the go. I've got to get up on out of here. We'll keep you up to speed with everything that is going on with the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL. You know how we roll.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
10 rookies who played in...
So, you did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about